The Galactic Council's main hall buzzed with excitement. Aliens of all shapes and sizes filled the room. Some had tentacles, others had wings. They all waited for one thing: the humans. Earth had just joined the Space Club. Now they had to show off their ships. The aliens thought this would be funny. They didn't think much of humans. Zork, a blue blob with eyes on stalks, chuckled. I bet their ships are made of wood. His friend Blarp, a tall, skinny alien, laughed too. Maybe they'll bring bicycles with balloons. But not everyone laughed. Eldra, an old, wise alien, looked worried. She had studied Earth's history. Don't underestimate them, she warned. But no one listened. Meanwhile, on Earth, things were busy. In a secret base under the ocean, Captain Jane Chen paced back and forth. She was in charge of showing the fleet to the aliens. Are the ships ready? She asked her team. They all nodded. Engineers ran final checks. Pilots practiced one last time. Everyone felt the weight of this moment. They knew the aliens thought humans were weak. They couldn't wait to prove them wrong. Admiral Tom Stewart walked in. He was the boss of all Earth's space forces. Captain Chen, it's time, he said with a smile. Let's go surprise some aliens. Back at the council, the alien leaders gathered in a small room. They talked about the humans. Why did we even let them join? Grumbled Grok, a rock-like alien. They barely left their own moon. Zira, a cat-like alien, disagreed. Rules are rules. They made it to another star system. That means they're in. But they're so young, said Flubble, a jelly alien. What if they cause trouble? Just then, a loud alarm rang out. The human ships had arrived at the meeting point. It was time for the show. All the aliens rushed to the viewing area. It was a huge room with walls made of special glass. They could see space all around them. Everyone pushed to get the best spot. Captain Chen's voice came through the speakers. Galactic Council, we thank you for this chance. Earth is honored to join the galactic community. We're ready to present our fleet. The aliens leaned forward. They expected to see a few small, clumsy ships. What they saw next made them gasp. First, a group of sleek fighters zoomed past. They moved so fast. They were just blurs. They flew in perfect formation, spelling out hello in the stars. Next came the big ships. Huge cruisers, each the size of a city, appeared one by one. They shimmered with force fields. Powerful weapons poked out from their sides. But the real shock was the mothership. It was as big as a moon. It slowly appeared, dwarfing everything else. The ship was so massive, it seemed to bend light around it. The aliens stood in stunned silence. Zork's eyes popped out on their stalks. Blarp fainted. Even Eldra looked surprised. Captain Chen's voice came again. This is the Freedom, our flagship. It carries a crew of 1 million and can travel between galaxies. The aliens couldn't believe it. How could humans build such amazing ships? They had only joined the galactic scene a few years ago. In the council leader's room, panic set in. Grok turned pale, which is hard for a rock. How is this possible? He shouted. Zira hissed. We've made a terrible mistake. They're not weak at all. Fluval wobbled nervously. What if they want revenge for how we treated them? But on the Freedom, Captain Chen and Admiral Stewart didn't know about the aliens' fear. They were too busy making sure everything went perfectly. Next formation, ordered Chen. The Earth ships moved again, creating a beautiful dance in space. Lights flashed, engines roared. It was a display of power and grace. In the viewing room, some younger aliens started to cheer. They thought the human ships were cool. Older aliens shushed them, still in shock. One brave alien named Crack stepped forward. Humans, he said into a microphone. Your ships are impressive. Can you tell us more? Captain Chen smiled. This was her chance. Of course. Our ships use a new kind of engine. It lets us fold space. We can cross the galaxy in days, not years. More gasps from the aliens. Their fastest ships took months to cross the galaxy. Chen continued, we also have AI helpers, self-repairing hulls, and weapons that can take down small moons. She paused. All for defense, of course. The aliens looked at each other. They had seriously underestimated humans. Now, they didn't know what to think. Admiral Stewart joined in. We come in peace. Earth wants to be friends with all galactic species. We hope our fleet shows we can be strong allies. This calmed some aliens down. Others were still scared. But all of them knew one thing. Everything had changed. As the presentation ended, the council leaders huddled together. They had to figure out what to do next. Humans weren't the primitives they thought. They were a force to be reckoned with. Captain Chen and Admiral Stewart headed back to Earth. They knew they had made a big impression. Well, said Stewart, I think that went well. Chen laughed. Did you see their faces? Priceless. As the Freedom jumped to light speed, the two humans felt proud. Earth had proved itself. The galaxy would never be the same. And in the council hall, as aliens argued and wondered, old Eldra smiled to herself. Never judge a species by its planet, she mumbled. The galaxy just got a lot more interesting. Space road trip. The Earth-ship Starhopper zoomed through space. It looked like a shiny silver arrow. Inside, Captain Maria Gonzalez checked the ship's controls. Her team of 5 sat around her, each at their own station. How long till we reach the alien HQ? Maria asked. Lai, the navigator, looked at his screen. About 12 hours, Captain. We're making good time. Maria nodded. She still couldn't believe they were on this mission. Just 10 years ago, humans thought they were alone in the universe. Now, they were heading to a meeting with a whole bunch of alien species. As the ship cruised along, Maria's mind wandered back to how it all started. It was a normal Tuesday when the aliens first showed up. Big ships appeared in the sky. Everyone on Earth freaked out. But the aliens didn't attack. They just said hi and invited Earth to join the Galactic Council. At first, people were scared, then excited. Then they got to work. Humans are good at that, working hard when they need to. The aliens shared some of their tech. Humans looked at it and thought, hey, we can make this better. And they did. In just a few years, Earth went from regular spaceships to super-fast star cruisers. A beep from the ship's computer brought Maria back to the present. Captain, said Raj, the tech guy, we're getting a message from Earth. On the big screen, Admiral Chen appeared. She looked serious. Captain Gonzalez, how's the trip? Smooth sailing, Admiral, Maria replied. We should reach the council on time. Good, said Chen. Remember, we're counting on you. Show them what humans can do, but be careful. Some aliens out there don't like us much. Maria nodded. We'll be careful, ma'am. Earth's got nothing to worry about. As the call ended, Zara, the ship's doctor, spoke up. I still can't believe we're doing this. Meeting all those aliens. It's like a dream. Or a nightmare, mumbled Alex, the security officer. What if they're mean? What if it's a trap? Maria shook her head. Come on, Alex. If they wanted to hurt us, they could have done it years ago. They're curious about us, just like we're curious about them. Just then, the ship shook. Alarms started beeping. What's going on? Maria asked, grabbing her seat. Lyde checked his screens. We've entered a weird space area, Captain. It's messing with our engines. The Starhopper rattled and shook. Outside the windows, space looked all twisty and weird. I've never seen anything like this, said Raj, typing fast on his computer. It's like space is folding in on itself. Maria took a deep breath. This was why humans were chosen for this mission. They were good at dealing with surprises. Okay, team, she said calmly. Let's figure this out. Raj, check the engines. Lai, find us a way out of here. Zara, make sure everyone's okay. Alex, watch for any other ships that might be around. Everyone got to work. The ship kept shaking, but not as bad as before. After a few tense minutes, Lai shouted, "I've got it. There's a clear path ahead." But he paused. "But what?" Maria asked. "But if we take it, we'll end up right in the middle of the alien HQ. Like, right in the middle. Hours early." Maria thought fast. This could be good or bad. They'd surprise the aliens, but they might also look silly, popping up where they shouldn't. "Do it," she decided. "Sometimes you've got to take risks." Lai nodded and steered the ship towards the exit. There was a flash of light, a funny feeling like being stretched. And then, calm. The ship stopped shaking. The weird space was gone. And in front of them was the biggest space station any of them had ever seen. It was huge, like a city floating in space. Ships of all shapes and sizes flew around it. Lights blinked and flashed everywhere. "Wow," whispered Zara. Everyone else just stared, their mouths open. Suddenly, a voice came through the ship's speakers. It sounded confused and a little angry. "Unidentified vessel. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourself immediately." Maria straightened her uniform and cleared her throat. "This is Captain Maria Gonzalez of the Earth ship Starhopper. We're here for the council meeting. Sorry we're early. We ran into some weird space on the way." There was a long pause. Then the voice came back, sounding surprised. "Earth ship, but you're not supposed to have this kind of technology. How did you get here so fast?" Maria grinned. "Well, that's a funny story. Mind if we come aboard and tell you all about it?" Another pause. Maria could almost hear the aliens arguing about what to do. Finally, the voice returned. "Proceed to Docking Bay 7. And welcome to the Galactic Council headquarters." As Maria steered the ship towards the docking bay, she looked at her crew. They all had big smiles on their faces. Even Alex looked excited now. "Well, folks," Maria said, "looks like we're going to make quite an entrance. Remember why we're here. We're representing Earth. Let's show these aliens what humans can do." The crew cheered. As the Starhopper glided into the massive space station, Maria felt proud. Humans had come a long way in a short time. From cars to starships, from Earth to the stars. The ship docked with a gentle bump. "Ready?" Maria asked her team. They all nodded. The door opened. Bright light poured in. And with heads held high, the humans stepped out, ready to meet the galaxy. As they walked into the alien HQ, Maria thought to herself, "Some road trip, huh? Can't wait to see what happens next." Jaw-dropping moment. The Galactic Council's grand hall was packed. Aliens of all kinds squeezed in, pushing and shoving to get a good view. Today was the day the humans would show off their fleet. Everyone expected a good laugh. Zrix, a tall alien with 4 arms, chuckled. "This should be fun. I bet they bring toy ships." His friend Blor, a blob-like creature, gurgled in agreement. "Yeah, maybe they'll show us paper airplanes." At the front of the hall, the council leaders sat in fancy chairs. They looked bored. They had seen many new species join before. It was always the same, small, weak ships that barely worked. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. A big screen lit up at the front of the room. An image of Earth appeared. A voice boomed through the speakers. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we, the people of Earth, are honored to present our fleet." The aliens leaned forward. Some had brought snacks, ready for the show. At first, nothing happened. The screen just showed Earth spinning slowly. Some aliens started to whisper. Was this it? Just a picture of their planet? Then something changed. A tiny dot appeared on the screen, moving away from Earth. Then another, and another. "What's that?" someone asked. The dots got bigger. They were ships, but they looked different, not like any ships the aliens had seen before. The voice spoke again. First, our scout ships. The dots turned into sleek, shiny vessels. They zipped across the screen so fast that some aliens gasped. These little ships moved quicker than anything in the Council's fleet. Impossible, muttered one of the Council leaders. How can they move so fast? But it wasn't over. The voice continued. And now, our main fleet. The screen zoomed out. What the aliens saw next made their jaws drop, those who had jaws anyway. Huge ships, bigger than cities, appeared from behind Earth's moon. They were beautiful and scary at the same time. Shiny metal gleamed in the starlight. Powerful engines glowed bright blue. The alien audience was silent. No one laughed now. No one even breathed. This is the Earthshaker, the voice said. A massive ship, the size of a small moon, moved into view. Our flagship. Blorp the blob alien fainted, splashing to the floor. No one noticed. They were all staring at the screen, eyes wide, or whatever they used for seeing. Zrix's 4 arms hung limp at his sides. How? He whispered. They were throwing rocks into space just a few years ago. The council leaders huddled together, talking fast and looking worried. This was not what they expected at all. Just when the aliens thought it couldn't get any more surprising, the voice said, and now, a demonstration. On the screen, the human ships started to move. They flew in perfect formation, making shapes in space. Stars, spirals, even a giant smiley face. Some younger aliens started to cheer. It was the coolest thing they'd ever seen. Older aliens shushed them, still in shock. Then the big ship, Earthshaker, did something amazing. It seemed to fold space around itself. In a blink, it disappeared from one side of the screen and popped up on the other. As you can see, the voice said calmly, "We have mastered faster than light travel." This was too much for some aliens. They started shouting and pointing. It's a trick. They're lying. No way this is real. The council leaders tried to calm everyone down, but they looked scared too. Just then, the big screen flickered. The image of space disappeared. Instead, a human face appeared. It was Captain Maria Gonzalez from the Starhopper. "Greetings, Galactic Council," she said with a smile. "I hope you enjoyed our little show. But seeing is believing, right? So we thought we'd give you a closer look." The screen switched off. For a moment, the hall was dark and quiet. Then a low rumble filled the air. The whole station started to shake. Lights flashed outside the big windows. Aliens rushed to look. What they saw made them gasp again. The human ships were here, in real life. The Earthshaker was so big it blocked out the stars. Smaller ships zipped around it like bees around a hive. Panic broke out in the hall. Some aliens ran around in circles. Others hid under chairs. A few tried to look brave, but their knees were shaking. The council leaders jumped up. "Calm down, everyone," they shouted. "There's no danger. The humans are our guests." Slowly, the panic died down. Aliens peeked out from their hiding spots. They looked at the ships outside with a mix of fear and awe. A door at the side of the hall opened. Captain Maria walked in, followed by her crew. The aliens backed away, making a path. Maria walked up to the council leaders and bowed. "Thank you for having us," she said. "We come in peace and friendship. Earth is ready to join the galactic community as an equal partner." The head of the council, a wise old alien named Zorb, stepped forward. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. "Captain," he said, "you have surprised us. We did not expect such advanced technology from Earth." Maria smiled. "We're full of surprises. Humans are good at learning and inventing. We hope to share our ideas with all of you." Zorb nodded slowly. "Yes, I see we have much to learn from each other." As Maria and Zorb shook hands, hand and tentacle, the mood in the hall began to change. Fear turned to curiosity. Shock became excitement. Aliens started to whisper to each other. Did you see those ships? I wonder if they'll teach us how they work. Maybe humans aren't so bad after all." And so, on that day, everything changed. The Galactic Council realized that humans weren't just some new weak species. They were a force to be reckoned with. A new age of galactic politics had begun. Cool space gadgets. After the big surprise of the human fleet, the Galactic Council was curious. They wanted to know more about these Earth ships, so they invited Captain Maria and her crew to show off their cool space gadgets. The aliens set up a big room for the show. It looked like a mix between a science fair and a car show. Aliens of all shapes and sizes crowded in, pushing to get a good spot. Maria stood on a small stage. Behind her was a table covered in strange objects. Her crew stood nearby, ready to help. "Okay, everyone," Maria said into a microphone. "Ready to see some human tech?" The aliens cheered. Even the grumpy ones looked excited. Maria picked up something that looked like a watch. "This is our universal translator," she said. "It can understand and speak any language in the galaxy." She put it on and spoke again. But this time, each alien heard her in their own language. The room buzzed with amazement. "How does it work?" asked a small green alien. Maria grinned. "It reads brainwaves and translates thoughts directly. No more language barriers." Next, Maria held up a small cube. "This," she said, "is our pocket dimension generator." She pressed a button on the cube. A shimmering door appeared in the air. "It creates a space that's bigger on the inside than the outside," Maria explained. She stuck her arm through the door. It went in up to her shoulder. The aliens gasped. One brave alien volunteer went through the door. He came back a minute later, looking shocked. "It's huge in there," he said. "Like a whole house." Maria nodded. "We use these to save space on our ships. Each crew member gets their own pocket dimension as a room." Some aliens took notes. Others just stared with their mouths open. Now it was time for the big stuff. Maria pointed to a large machine that looked like a giant hairdryer. "This is our gravity manipulator," she said. "Watch this." She turned it on. Suddenly, aliens started floating. They laughed and yelled as they drifted around the room. "We use this to create artificial gravity on our ships," Maria explained as she turned it off. The aliens plopped back down. "It also helps us land on planets with strong gravity." Next, Maria's crew rolled out something that looked like a big mirror. "This is really cool," Maria said. "We call it the holographic camouflage." She turned it on. The mirror thing disappeared. In its place was what looked like an empty part of the room. But when Maria walked behind it, she vanished too. "It bends light around objects," she said, her voice coming from nowhere. "Our ships use this to hide from enemies or sneak up on space pirates." The aliens clapped and cheered. This was better than any magic show they'd ever seen. But Maria wasn't done yet. She pulled out a small gun-like object. "Don't worry, it's not a weapon," she said quickly. Some aliens had started to hide. "This is our matter replicator." She pointed it at an empty table and pulled the trigger. There was a flash of light. When it faded, a bowl of fruit sat on the table. "It can make anything we need," Maria said. "Food, tools, spare parts. As long as we have the basic elements, we can make whatever we want." Aliens rushed to touch the fruit. It was real. "No more going hungry on long space trips," Maria said with a smile. Last but not least, Maria showed them the biggest gadget of all. It was a large arch, big enough for a person to walk through. "This," she said, "is our greatest invention, the wormhole generator." The room went quiet. Even the council leaders leaned forward. Maria pressed some buttons. The arch filled with swirling energy. "It creates a tunnel through space-time," she explained. "We can go anywhere in the galaxy in seconds." To prove it, she tossed a ball through the arch. A screen next to it showed the ball popping out near a distant planet. The aliens were speechless. This was beyond anything they had imagined. One of the council leaders, a wise old alien named Zorb, raised a shaky hand. "Captain Maria," he said, "this technology, it's incredible, but also scary. How do we know humans won't use it to hurt others?" Maria nodded. She had expected this question. "That's a good point, Zorb," she said. "The truth is, we could use this tech to conquer the galaxy if we wanted to." The room got very quiet. Some aliens looked scared. "But that's not who we are," Maria continued. "Humans have learned from our past. We don't want to conquer. We want to explore, to learn, to make friends." She smiled at the crowd. "That's why we're here, to share our inventions with everyone. Together, we can make the galaxy a better place for all species." The aliens started to relax. Some even clapped. Zorb nodded slowly. "You have given us much to think about, Captain. Your species is full of surprises." As the show ended, aliens crowded around the gadgets. They wanted to touch them, to see how they worked. Maria and her crew answered questions and gave demonstrations. In one corner, a group of alien scientists huddled together. They looked excited and a little scared. "We need to step up our game," one said. "The humans are way ahead of us." Another nodded. "Yeah, but think of what we could do together. Human creativity plus our alien knowledge. We could solve all the galaxy's problems." As Maria watched the excited aliens, she felt proud. This was why humans had come to space. Not to show off, but to share, to learn from others, and teach what they knew. The galaxy was entering a new age, an age of teamwork between species, an age of amazing discoveries and cool space gadgets, and it was all starting right here, in this room full of wonder and new friends. Space friends and enemies. After the humans showed off their cool gadgets, the Galactic Council was in chaos. Some aliens wanted to be best friends with humans. Others were scared and angry. It was like a big space party where half the guests were having fun, and the other half wanted to leave. Captain Maria and her crew watched as alien diplomats argued. It was like a weird game of space chess, and humans were the new surprise players. Zorb, the wise old alien leader, called for quiet. "We need to decide what to do about the humans," he said. A tall blue alien named Clicks stood up. "I say we welcome them. Think of what we can learn from them." But a short, hairy alien called Gruzzle disagreed. "No way. They're too powerful. What if they decide to take over?" The room erupted in shouts and weird alien noises. Maria looked at her crew and whispered, "Stay calm. Let's see how this plays out." Suddenly, a slimy alien oozed onto the stage. "I have a solution," it gurgled. "Let's steal their technology." More shouting. Some aliens liked this idea. Others thought it was wrong. Maria knew she had to do something. She stepped forward and raised her hand. The room went quiet. "Friends," she said, using the translator so everyone could understand. "We didn't come here to cause trouble. We came to join you, to help make the galaxy better for everyone." She pointed to the gadgets they had shown earlier. "Yes, we have cool stuff. But we want to share it, not keep it to ourselves." Some aliens nodded. Others looked suspicious. "But why should we trust you?" asked a robot-like alien. "Humans have a history of fighting each other." Maria smiled. "You're right. We've made mistakes, but we've learned from them. That's why we're here, to do better, to be better." As she talked, something funny happened. The scared aliens started to relax. The angry ones calmed down. Maria's words were like a peace ray, zapping away the bad feelings. But not everyone was convinced. A group of tough-looking aliens huddled in a corner, whispering. They didn't look happy. Zorb noticed this too. He stood up and said, "Perhaps we should take a break. Let's all think about what we've heard." As the aliens filed out of the room, Maria's crew gathered around her. "Nice speech, Captain," said Lai, the navigator. "But I don't think we're out of the woods yet." Zara, the doctor, nodded. Yeah, did you see those big guys in the corner? They looked like they were planning something. Maria sighed. You're right. We need to be careful, but we also need to keep trying to make friends. Just then, Clicks, the friendly blue alien, came over. Captain Maria, he said, some of us are having a little party. Would you and your crew like to join us? Maria grinned. We'd love to. Lead the way. The party was in a big room with a view of the stars. Aliens of all kinds were there, drinking weird-looking drinks and eating food that sometimes moved. Maria and her crew split up, talking to different aliens. They told jokes, shared stories about Earth, and listened to tales of far-off planets. Lee found himself in a heated discussion about space maps with a group of alien explorers. They were amazed by how much of the galaxy humans had already mapped. Zara was surrounded by alien doctors, all eager to learn about human medicine. They were especially interested in how humans had cured so many diseases. Even Alex, the usually grumpy security officer, was having fun. He was arm wrestling with a four-armed alien and laughing when he lost. As the party went on, more and more aliens warmed up to the humans. They realized that these Earth people weren't so different from them. They liked to have fun. They were curious about new things, and they knew how to be good friends. But not everything was perfect. In another room, the tough aliens from before were having their own meeting. Their leader, a scary-looking creature named Drax, was talking. We can't let the humans join us, he growled. They'll take over everything. We need to stop them now, while we still can. The others nodded and growled in agreement. They started making plans, dark plans that would spell trouble for the humans. Back at the party, Maria was feeling good. She had just finished telling a group of aliens about Earth's oceans when Zorb came over. Captain, he said, I must say, you and your crew have made quite an impression. Many of the council members are talking about fast-tracking Earth's membership. Maria beamed. That's great news. We're really enjoying getting to know everyone. Zorb nodded, but he looked worried. Yes, but be careful. Not everyone is happy about this. There are some who see humans as a threat. Just then, there was a commotion at the door. Drax and his gang burst in, looking angry. This party is over. Drax shouted. We demand that the humans leave immediately. The room went quiet. Everyone turned to look at Maria. What would she do? Maria took a deep breath and walked towards Drax. She wasn't afraid, but she knew she had to be smart. Drax, she said calmly, I understand you're worried. Change can be scary, but we're not here to cause trouble. We're here to be friends. Drax snorted. Friends? With your powerful ships and fancy gadgets, you'll squash us like bugs. Maria shook her head. No, we won't. In fact, we need you, all of you. She looked around the room. Humans are good at some things, but we have a lot to learn. We need your knowledge, your experience. Together, we can do amazing things. As she spoke, something changed in the room. The scared looks turned to thoughtful ones. Even some of Drax's gang started to look unsure. Zorb stepped forward. Drax, listen to her. The humans have been nothing but open and friendly. Perhaps we should give them a chance. Drax looked around. He saw that he was losing support. With a grunt, he turned and stomped out, his gang following behind. As the door closed, the room burst into cheers. Aliens crowded around Maria, patting her on the back and shaking her hand, or tentacle, or wing. Zorb smiled at Maria. Well done, Captain. I think you've just made a lot of friends, and maybe a few enemies. But that's politics for you. Maria laughed. Well, we'll just have to keep working on those enemies until they're friends too. As the party started up again, now even livelier than before, Maria looked out at the stars. She thought about Earth, so far away, and smiled. They had done it. Humans had taken their first big step into the galactic community. It wouldn't always be easy. There would be challenges and problems to solve. But looking around at her new alien friends, Maria knew one thing for sure. The future was going to be very interesting indeed. The super-secret weapon. The Galactic Council was buzzing with excitement. Humans had shown off their cool ships and gadgets, but rumors were flying around like space dust. Everyone was whispering about one thing. The humans had a super-secret weapon. Captain Maria and her crew stood in the middle of a big room. Alien leaders from all over the galaxy crowded around them. Some looked excited, others scared. Zorb, the old alien leader, raised his hands for quiet. "Humans," he said, his voice shaky. "We've heard stories. Is it true? Do you have a weapon that can destroy planets?" The room went so quiet you could hear a space pin drop. All eyes, and other seeing organs, turned to Maria. Maria looked at her crew. They nodded. It was time. "Well," Maria said slowly, "we do have one more thing to show you, but it's not what you think." She pulled out a small box from her pocket. It was shiny and had blinking lights. The aliens leaned in close, their eyes wide. "This," Maria said, holding up the box, "is our greatest invention. We call it the empathy engine." The aliens looked confused. This didn't look like a super weapon. "What does it do?" asked a curious alien with 3 eyes. Maria smiled. "It doesn't destroy. It creates understanding. Watch this." She pressed a button on the box. A soft, warm light filled the room. Suddenly, every alien could feel what the others were feeling. The scared aliens felt the excitement of the curious ones. The angry aliens felt the hope of the friendly ones. It was like everyone's emotions were mixed together in a big space smoothie. "Whoa," said a big, tough-looking alien, his voice soft. I never knew you all felt this way." Maria nodded. "That's the point. Our super weapon doesn't hurt. It helps us understand each other." The aliens were amazed. This was nothing like they expected. Zorb stepped forward, his eyes wet with alien tears. "This is incredible," he said. "But how does it work?" Maria's crew member, Raj, spoke up. "It reads the electrical signals in our brains," he explained. "Then it broadcasts those feelings to everyone nearby. It's like emotional Wi-Fi." The aliens started talking all at once. This was big news. But not everyone was happy. Drax, the grumpy alien who didn't like humans, pushed his way to the front. "This is a trick," he shouted. "They're trying to control our minds." Maria shook her head. "No, Drax, we're not controlling anyone. We're just helping everyone understand each other better." Drax growled. "Prove it. Use it on yourself." The room went quiet again. Everyone looked at Maria. Maria took a deep breath. "Okay," she said. She turned the empathy engine towards herself and pressed the button. Suddenly, all the aliens could feel what Maria was feeling. They felt her excitement about being in space. They felt her worry about making a good impression. They felt her deep hope for peace and friendship between all species. Even Drax looked surprised. You really do want to be friends," he said softly. Maria nodded. "Yes, we do. That's why we made this. Not to fight, but to bring everyone together." The aliens started talking excitedly. This changed everything. Zorb raised his hands again. "This is truly amazing," he said. "But why do you call it a weapon?" Maria smiled. "Because it's the best weapon against war and hate. When you can feel what others feel, it's hard to want to hurt them." The aliens nodded. They were starting to understand. A small, shy alien raised her hand. Can we try it?" she asked. Maria grinned. "Of course. That's why we're here. To share." For the next few hours, aliens took turns using the empathy engine. The room was full of laughter, tears, and lots of hugging, which was tricky with some of the blob-like aliens. Enemies became friends. Old arguments were solved. It was like a big galactic therapy session. Even Drax had a turn. When he felt everyone's emotions, his tough guy act melted away. I'm sorry, he said, looking embarrassed. I was just scared of change. Can we start over? Maria shook his hand, carefully, because it had spikes. Of course, she said. That's what the empathy engine is all about. New beginnings. As the day went on, the aliens couldn't stop talking about the empathy engine. They had so many ideas. We could use it to solve arguments between planets, said one. It could help us understand new species we meet, said another. Maybe it can help us talk to space whales, said a third. Everyone looked at him funny, but who knows? Maybe space whales were real. Zorb pulled Maria aside. Captain, he said, this invention of yours, it could change the whole galaxy. Maria nodded. That's the idea. But we can't do it alone. We need all of you to help. Zorb smiled. I think you'll find plenty of volunteers. You've made a lot of friends today. As the day ended, the Galactic Council had a vote. It was unanimous. Earth was officially welcomed into the galactic community. There was a big cheer. Aliens patted the humans on the back. Some even tried to do human high fives, which was funny to watch with tentacles. As Maria and her crew got ready to leave, aliens crowded around to say goodbye. Come visit my planet, said one. Can you teach us how to make an empathy engine? Asked another. Do all humans have such squishy hands? Wondered a third, poking Alex's palm. Maria laughed. This was better than she ever imagined. Humans hadn't just joined the galactic community. They had helped make it stronger and friendlier. As they walked back to their ship, Maria's crew was all smiles. Well, said Lai, I guess our super-secret weapon wasn't so secret after all. Or much of a weapon, added Zara. Nope, said Maria, looking back at their new alien friends. It's something much better. It's a super-secret friendship maker. They all laughed as they boarded their ship. The galaxy was a big place, full of amazing things to discover. And now, thanks to the empathy engine, humans and aliens would explore it together as friends. As their ship took off, fireworks exploded in space. It was the start of a new age, an age of understanding, friendship, and really cool space parties. Humans rule space. 5 years had passed since humans joined the Galactic Council. In that short time, everything had changed. Humans didn't just fit in. They became the stars of the space show. The main meeting room of the Galactic Council was buzzing with excitement. Aliens of all shapes and sizes crowded around, waiting for the big announcement. Zorb, the old alien leader, stepped up to the speaking spot. He looked different now. He wore a t-shirt that said, I Earth, and had a baseball cap on one of his head tentacles. Friends, aliens, space pals, Zorb said, using the human phrase he'd learned. Today is a big day. We're going to vote for a new leader of the Galactic Council. The room went quiet. This was huge news. And, Zorb continued, for the first time ever, we have a human candidate. The aliens started whispering. Some looked excited, others nervous. Change was happening fast in space these days. Captain Maria stepped forward. She looked confident in her shiny spacesuit. Hello, everyone, she said, smiling. I'm honored to be here. An alien reporter raised his hand. Well, his tentacle. Captain Maria, why should we vote for a human? You're the new kids in space. Maria nodded. That's true. We are new. But sometimes new is good. We bring fresh ideas, and we've shown that we want to be friends with everyone. Another alien spoke up. But humans used to fight a lot on Earth. How do we know you won't bring war to space? Maria's face got serious. You're right. Humans made mistakes in the past, but that's why we work extra hard for peace now. We know how bad fighting can be. We don't want that for anyone. The aliens nodded. They liked this answer. Suddenly, Drax the grumpy alien, who wasn't so grumpy anymore, stood up. "I used to be scared of humans," he said. "But now my best friend is human. They taught me to play something called football. It's fun." Everyone laughed. Aliens playing human sports was always funny to watch. The voting started. Aliens lined up to press buttons on a big machine. Some voted quickly, others took their time. It was a big decision. While they waited for the results, Maria thought about how much had changed. Humans had shared their cool gadgets with everyone. Now, aliens zipped around in fast ships, talked to each other with universal